and welcome to the final Beyond the Mist of this season. This is the one for the grand finale, where I believe I have mentioned that in the past this whole season has been leading to this one moment where the players ultimately crash to the surface below. This whole amazing storyline that I've been able to play with my four players has just been a bonus and a fantastic one at that. Um, Now, in terms of the processes I went through, I had play tested most of this scenario already in person with a group that I play with on a monthly basis. I really liked how it turned out. Ultimately, they used the whole mine process really well. They're the ones that decided that it would be 8 mines as they go through, because I feel like that's a decent amount to A, piss off the dragon, but B, potentially wreck the shining beetle, or at least weaken it to the point where it's in desperate danger before the fight even starts. So we'll see how the rolls go. But basically, the idea is that given how highly skilled they are, they'll be able to place the mines no problems and at no danger themselves. But every now and then, one will be risky, and if the dice are mean, then the players will be in trouble from the start. Um, Now, once they reach the dragon, I am again creating these kind of hints that it's not the dragon at fault for all that has happened so far. It's not the one taking out the oracle classes. It's going to be exhausted. It's going to try and get its children to attack the shining beetle rather than itself. They're going to have to try and find a way to attack it directly. And it's just going to, and also going to maybe point out, depending on if they do some looking around rolls, that there's no loot, there's nothing stolen, there's no reason for the dragon to have left its cave and attacked the ships. There's no crates or anything like that. So we'll see if the players pick up on that and how they decide to go. I suspect that they're not going to look for that, but it'll just kind of highlight that they've been misled. They've been allowed to be misled. Now, for the fight, I once again created the dragon from the Mecha and Monsters Evolved rulebook. I gave it a couple of abilities that I really like for a dragon to be able to use. So one of them is that it can roar and scare the shit out of everyone. It's got a whole bunch of range. It's got two good ranged attacks. One is kind of similar to the lightning cannon that the players have in their ship. Another one is a single action, but it can deal potentially a lot of damage to a single target. And another one is that I love the idea of meaty fists, of dragons being able to grab the ships and toss them at each other. I just imagine that's how dragons would fight in real life. They wouldn't just claw at each other, but full on fling each other around. It's going to have a tougher hide, and it's going to have additional energy as well. So that way, that way it'll be able to keep up and ongoing. I'm also giving it the ability. It's kind of hinted at in the book, but it's not really clear, that if it just spends an action doing a normal basic melee attack against one of the larger ships, it is going to be able to eat people and regain some health that way. So while it would only be doing one point of damage, when it does that, it'll be able to have a chance to regenerate itself. Now, when I did this playtest, the Astrakhan player managed to strap the dragon with her little launcher to the Hope and Grace, and then they've rammed it to death. I'm looking forward to seeing how the players manage to do that, how my players do that, if they just kind of keep their distance and play it safe, or if they decide to go out swinging, I'll say. Now, I really like having environmental effects. So the idea of having the dragonlings hatching a little early, not having any kind of breaths, but just being able to kind of gremlinize the ships that they land on if they're not cleared away or kept away. It just it adds a timer where the players can't just be passive and avoid the dragon. And also just focus on the dragon while Odiron is focused on the larger ships. They need to defend themselves actively as well. Now, I guess at this point, I'd like to have a quick discussion about the idea of scripted events versus roles. So, obviously, at the start of the fight, I'm going to have O'Diron up and charge the Cisco and potentially destroy it in one go. I'll be describing it as having a large horn, which it will lose as a result of this, and that's why it can't do it again. Um, Now, I know some GMs would roll for these scenarios and see if the dragon is successful at doing that, but I feel like, at least especially in this scenario, it's okay not to roll. It's okay just to script events like these to put the players into the boss fight or the scenario that you're wanting to create for them. You know that they've got a good plan. The captains come up with the best plan that they can in the time that they have and with the information they've had. They're just unaware of the fact that the dragon can ram them to a point of destruction. So we'll see how the players react. Obviously, as players and knowing that we'll have an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of playtime, they'll be expecting there to be a twist like this, but we'll see how long they're able to keep the dragon going. So ultimately, I feel like it's okay to have scripted events. I don't feel like as a GM I need to roll for everything. It's okay for every now and then a bad guy just to auto succeed in order to have a second phase. And anyone who's played any kind of Souls-like game or any kind of other game where the bosses transform mid-fight would, or change the scenery or change the landscape or grab an extra weapon and suddenly have a ranged attack or whatever that might look like, would agree that it adds to the tension rather than me potentially rolling dice and the horn attack failing and they just kind of stop and look at each other for a second. On that note, I'm looking forward to the epilogue as well. So this is the only every other time I've done an epilogue so far in this series, they've all been kind of done in response to what the players have done so far. In this case, it will be scripted. I'm writing it out after I finish hitting record on this. Just because I want to have that bridge of, if you wanted a fairy tale, stop it here. You know, everyone's safe. The dragons ended. The mission the mission that they've been given by a higher power has been completed. And if you want to end it here, you can. But we'll see how people react to the final twist where the Hope and Grace is pulled down under the mist, and the idea of there being potentially another 8 episodes of Mistworld after this, where they're on the surface, without all the wonderful tools and abilities that they've had access to so far. I will leave it here. I would like to say thank you for everyone who's listened to these extra little tidbits. I've really enjoyed making them. I hope that you guys have gotten something out of my rants. If ever you wish to contact me or the other people involved in our production, if you go to That's How We Roll on YouTube, you'll be able to find links to our Discord. We've got a channel there. If you just reach out to any of us, we'll be more than happy to talk it through. Have a good night. Talk soon.